As a creative, your heart is your compass and the driving force of your creative contribution to the world. Creatives live by heart. This is why the archetype of the tortured artist is so common. We're plagued by the overwhelm of ideas, the struggle to translate those ideas onto the material plane, and our own fear of inadequacy.
You're listening to Quantum Revolution with Karen Curry Parker, exploring new frontiers in consciousness, science, and evolution. Join us in intimate conversations with cutting-edge scientists, spiritual leaders, artists, disruptors, and visionaries who are working towards reframing the narrative of our future by healing the rift between spirituality and science, reclaiming creativity, and laying the foundation for a new world. And now, here's your host, Karen Curry Parker.
Living in alignment is a strange process. Basically, the universe, God, your muse, divine imperative, life's intelligence, you insert your word of choice here, calls you out and challenges you to translate the infinite into the finite, to create a life that is the fulfillment of your soul contract embedded in a human story. Being aligned makes you a cosmic weaver of sorts. Your job is to find the golden threads of meaning and weave them into a tapestry of relevancy, beauty, and inspiration to serve on the leading edge of consciousness and be an integral part of a cosmic feedback loop that helps the universe evolve and expand. No easy job. To be awakened and aligned, you have to take action inspired by the perception of positive possibilities of the future, even if you don't know exactly how or what you're going to say or what you're going to do. It's like casting a big vote for the future. The threads you weave promise to build the infrastructure of the world to come. Whether you are inspiring or informing, what you create builds the template of tomorrow. That's the nature of being a cosmic revolutionary. Your brave, creative contribution to the world has the power to change the future, to create collective evolution, and reframe what humanity believes is possible. You do this oftentimes without even knowing the impact of your words, your existence, and your work on the lives of others. It is a blind shot in the dark, inextricably intertwined with hope, imbued with the power of love, that shines a light on a new potential waiting silently to be activated. That's the power of what you do. Your very commitment to your alignment, your creativity, and to the fulfillment of your soul purpose installs the scaffolding for tomorrow. Being aligned isn't always easy or even fun. You can never take a shower in peace because the incessant flow of ideas and inspiration is always raining down on you along with the water from the shower head. Your backpack, your purse, and your mind is filled with ideas, visions, and possibilities. Your cell phone is full of voice memos to yourself, urgently whispered while you drive. You sometimes think that all these ideas represent a lack of clarity. It's easy to forget that those ideas are merely artifacts of inspiration and that, like seeds in the wind, you're here to share them and spread them. Every day brings even more ideas. You worry that you won't be able to catch and contain them all. You wonder if those ideas are for you or if your muse got the wrong address. You battle your own inadequacy and the relentless challenge of trying to take all the inspired spaghetti in your head and make it make sense to someone else. You forgot that there's a divine master plan at hand, and that divine timing will ultimately handle the confusion and overwhelm. In hindsight, it'll all make sense, so you grapple with remembering to have faith. You're often doing this while those who love you the most are gently encouraging you to quit, to be normal, and to not have too much hope that you might succeed at this wild and inspired path you walk on, just in case, so you won't be too disappointed, or that you'll be prepared for the apocalypse. And yet you continue. You pound away at the keyboard. You keep following your heart. You keep listening to the whisperings of life's intelligence calling you forward. You take that risk, rip off the covers, and expose your heart to the world, knowing with 100% certainty that someone will, for sure, criticize, judge, or critique you. and yet you do it anyway. Because your belief in the future of the world, your devotion to your creative practice, and that unstoppable force that is your creative spark compels you forward. Again and again and again. In case no one told you lately, thank you. Thank you for building the framework for the future of all of us. Thank you for showing us the courage of following your own conviction. Thank you for being brave enough to share your story with the hopes that it will light the way for others like you. As a creative, your heart is your compass and the driving force of your creative contribution to the world. Creatives live by heart. This is why the archetype of the tortured artist is so common. We're plagued by the overwhelm of ideas, the struggle to translate those ideas onto the material plane, and our own fear of inadequacy. It's pretty hard for creatives to cover up our hearts so that we don't feel every single twist and curve of pain on the planet. Living with your heart fully exposed to the world takes courage. It's hard to keep creating when the world feels so heartless. In Hebrew, the term for courage, ometz, or ometz lev, literally means strength or heart strength. This spiritual trait isn't the absence of fear, but the inner strength to move forward anyway. Courage means taking action, even if you're afraid. For creatives, this is a daily challenge. How do you push up against your own inner inadequacy and keep creating, even though you're afraid that you're not ready? Cultivating a creative practice ensures that you have the muscle, the heart strength, to push through the voices in your head. Eventually, you get used to knowing how to push through this kind of fear. It also means staying the course and continuing to consciously and deliberately create in the face of a world that seems so wildly misaligned with heart. It can be disheartening to read the news, scroll through social media, or even listen to most conversations with people. Becoming disheartened can shut down your creativity and cause us to wonder, why should we even bother? Or we feel guilty pursuing our passion when others are hurting so badly. Creativity is a transformational energy. Not only does art and creativity soothe the heart, our alignment with the whisperings of life's intelligence through us as creatives allows us to use our art to stretch the narrative of what we believe is possible. Art changes the story. When the story changes, we are collectively prepared for shifts in the patterns. Art prepares the way for mutation, experimentation, and opens us up to the possibility of miracles. We practice courage whenever we leave our comfort zone, take an unpopular stand, expose our vulnerabilities, speak the truth, confront others, risk embarrassment or personal loss, or intervene on behalf of those unable to do so for themselves. As creatives, we have an obligation to keep moving forward and to maintain the portal of creativity in the cosmos. You being creative keeps the portals of creativity open for the world, even when your heart is aching. As their cities came under siege by Russian forces, musicians took to the streets playing music to soothe and comfort people. That took tremendous courage. This is the kind of courage the world demands of you as a creative, to stand in the face of unspeakable sorrow and to weave a tapestry of hope and inspiration, even when your own heart is breaking, to find the heart strength to keep moving forward. We are stuck in binary thinking. We are deeply conditioned to think in a this or that format. This has caused us to get stuck in very limiting mindsets that restrict the options we can see for our lives. Male or female, black or white, good or bad, math or art, rich or poor. This old way of thinking is an artifact of material consciousness. At the end of the scientific revolution, we learned to codify and measure things as this or that. When quantum physics burst onto the scene, we learned that there really isn't a this or a that. Quantum physicists learned that you can either measure the movement of a quantum particle or the location, but not both at the same time. Expectation about how the particle behaved influenced how the particle acted, and where it would show up. We learned that our experience of reality happens on a limitless spectrum of inclusive possibilities. The hard and fast rules of matter either being a this or a that began to dissolve. We learned that matter itself was malleable. And yet, the material era and the drive to codify, measure, and systematize everything continues to be pervasive in our culture, this or that. Or rather, this equals not that. This binary way of thinking has been incredibly divisive in our world. It invariably pits us against each other. If you're a this, then you are a not that. Recently, I've seen a lot of social media posts about prayers and thoughts. I saw one meme that actually had a big red X on it, crossing out the words prayers and thoughts with the phrase policy change written on top of the crossed out words. I'm a stickler for how we use language. The words we use hold a frequency of energy. Words build the energetic infrastructure of what we seek to create in the world. We must use words very deliberately because of the power that words hold. While I am in total agreement that prayers and thoughts are only the first step in creating, there is real danger to saying that we should exchange prayers and thoughts for policy change, this or that. I am very clear that we have to take right action to create change in the world. We still live on a third-dimensional planet. That means that to get things done, we have to physically do the work. But action is tricky. To be truly effective, you have to act with the right energy. If you are reacting instead of acting, even though your physical acts may be helpful in the moment, the energy you are transmitting may actually serve to keep us divided instead of unified, ultimately causing chaos and pain that happens in cycles, again and again and again. I do not want to live on a planet where action is not preceded or doesn't include the alignment necessary, thoughts and prayers, to ensure that the action is directed and the true fulfillment of an intention. Action preceded by thoughts and prayers is deliberate and intentional. Action without thoughts and prayers is reactive and potentially harmful. Here's a list of some recent scientific discoveries that might surprise you. Number 1, prayer does work when you do it correctly. Number 2, when you send love to someone, scientists can actually physically measure when the recipient receives the love, even when they are on the other side of the world. Number 3, we are all connected and influenced by magnetic fields, including the geomagnetic energies located in the atmosphere. When something happens on the planet or in the environment, we all feel it in our bodies. Number 4, the heart has its own powerful magnetic field that energetically and physiologically connects us. Our heartbeats actually syncopate when we are in groups together. Number 5, your thoughts and emotions can influence random events, and your heart can predict an event before your mind is even aware that it's going to happen. Scientists are now studying whether our collective heart energy can actually influence the geomagnetic energy of the planet, and the early results are pretty affirming. Your thoughts and prayers, or love and light, can actually change the global atmosphere. Sending your love and light may actually be one of the most powerful things that you can do to make the world a more loving, abundant, and sustainable place. But you have to send love and light correctly. You have to do it with the right energy, the right mindset, and you have to be doing it from a pure place. You can't be attached or reactive. You have to be in the flow of love. Knowing how to turn on the healing power of your heart and activating the pure quantum potential of the heart is a powerful skill that will not only help you send powerful love and light to the world, it actually can, number 1, help you tap into greater levels of intelligence and creativity. Number 2, increase your DHA levels and decrease your cortisol levels, helping you minimize the effects of stress on your body. Number 3, helps school students with ADHD demonstrate improved short-term and long-term memory, increased ability to focus, and improvements in home and social behavior. Number 4, increases your performance and lowers frustration. Number 5, improves cognitive function in people with PTSD. Number 6, improves heart function and blood pressure, lowers stress and cortisol, and reduces healthcare costs. And number 7, helps you lower blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose, stress, anger, hostility, frustration, fatigue, and aggression. The key here to getting these benefits and more, and to really changing the energy on the planet, is to have the proper skills to know how to open your heart. There is real science to knowing how to harness the amazing power of your heart. Personally, I believe that getting as many people to open their hearts and tap into the true creative power of their hearts is one of the most important and powerful things we can do to create a world of sustainable resources and sustainable peace. We are designed to be compassionate, loving beings who work together to create unlimited possibilities and make them manifest on this beautiful and bountiful planet. To start changing the story you tell about who you are so that it better reflects what you deserve and how you can take back control over what you create, get your free Quantum Human Design Chart at freehumandesignchart.com. I'm Karen Curry Parker. Thank you for listening to Quantum Revolution.
Thank you for joining us on Quantum Revolution with Karen Curry Parker. For more information on how to change your world, visit quantumrevolutionpodcast.com. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcasting platform so you don't miss a single episode of Quantum Revolution. We'll see you next time for some more groundbreaking conversations with Karen and her guests. How will you impact your world today?